Pon mày vị xạ pon mày cứ ngày vị xe dương ban chăm che ngày Visakapucha Prampi Praka Chratla Vanti Vesak Bochea Celebration Lo Ti môi cứ ngày sọ mệt Buddhist Buddhist bật miền đất bầu vò chạm đam tờ tuôn Puja co lục thiệt nhọp nhọ xa tô bầy cày ti pi cứ ngày sát thay prasot cha rờ hốt sầm phốt bật bầyកំណាត់ចុងក្រោយជាប់ដោយអត្តន័យផុតចាកភពត្រៃលែងភ័យលែងព្រួយទី3គឺថ្ងៃព្រះស្រីមហាពោធិ៍ដោះចេញលេចធ្លូពោពិតមានត្រួយថ្ងៃព្រះប្រសូតស្រោតដោះជាមួយជំនួយឲ្យចិត្តបរិស័ទជ្រះថ្លាទី4គឺថ្ងៃចោមត្រៃត្រាស់ដឹងថ្ងៃមានទីពឹងពំនឹងលោកាជាថ្ងៃព្រះពុទ្ធបរិសុទ្ធអស្ចារ្យពួកជនជ្រះថ្លាចិន្តាល្អស្អាតទី5គឺថ្ងៃអង្គថ្លៃនិព្វានថ្ងៃព្រះទ្រង់ញាណមានពុទ្ធោវាទបច្ឆមវាចាថាកុំប្រមាទអវាទពិសិដ្ឋស្ថិតនៅជាគ្រូ6គឺថ្ងៃប្រល័យព្រះធាតុចេតិយលោកនាថនៅទៀតមិនយូរព្រះធាតុទាំងអស់ហោះមកគល់ពោដេជោរំលីរំលត់ពុទ្ធសាស7គឺថ្ងៃជោគជ័យពុទ្ធាគ្រប់ព្រះភគវាឈ្នះមាបានត្រាស់នាំមកនៅសុខពិសេសខ្លាំងណាស់គ្រប់អង្គទ្រង់ត្រាស់ព្រះធម៌ទេសនាវិសាខបនមីថ្ងៃប្រពៃពិតយើងខ្ញុំមានចិត្តនឹងថឹងជ្រះថ្លាវន្តាសំពះអង្គព្រះសាស្តាសូត្រធម៌ថ្វាយផ្កាបូជាប្រទីបនិពន្ធដោយលោកគ្រូអគ្គបណ្ឌិតធម្មចារ្យបុត្រសវង្សអានជាធម្មទាននៅខ្ញុំបកណាអាត្មាភាពចត្ររខេតវិសាខបនមីវិសាខបនមីគឺថ្ងៃវិសេសយើងបានចាំចេះថ្ងៃព្រះភគវា7ប្រការជ្រះថ្លាវន្តាវិសាខបូជារឹកពីសែនល្អទី1គឺថ្ងៃសុមេធបណ្ឌិតពោធិសត្វពិតមានរិទ្ធបវរចាប់ផ្ដើមទទួលព្រះពុទ្ធព្យាករលោកធាតុញាប់ញ័រសាទរពេកក្រៃទី2គឺថ្ងៃក្សត្រថ្លៃប្រសូតអស្ចារ្យរហូតសម្ពោធព្រឹកព្រៃកំណាត់ចុងក្រោយជាប់ដោយអត្តន័យផុតចាកភពត្រៃលែងភ័យលែងព្រួយទី3គឺថ្ងៃព្រះស្រីមហាពោធិ៍ដោះចេញលេចធ្លូពោពិតមានត្រួយថ្ងៃព្រះប្រសូតស្រោតដោះជាមួយជំនួយឲ្យចិត្តបរិស័ទជ្រះថ្លាទី4គឺថ្ងៃចោមត្រៃត្រាស់ដឹងថ្ងៃមានទីពឹងពំនឹងលោកាជាថ្ងៃព្រះពុទ្ធបរិសុទ្ធអស្ចារ្យ
Pay my homage to the triple gem, the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. My respect to our special speakers of the day, Venerable Kassapa, Venerable Dhammasena, Venerable Munipoto, and again, welcome back, Brother Nomchuni. Again, my deep respect to the Venerable Mahasangha and greetings to all friends in Dhamma around the globe. I am Zakan Tim, live from Seattle, Washington, with Sister Chatsapip from Phnom Penh, Cambodia. Welcome to Dhammika Life Dhamma Sadhana program. This program is brought to you by the Dhammika Life Foundation, which is led by our most venerable Sok TV. The purpose of this program is to aim at propagating the Buddhist teaching in both languages, Khmer and English. Our regular program normally starts language shifting interchangeably every Friday at 9 p.m. Cambodia time and 6 a.m. Seattle time. However, today we have a very special topic for our Dhamma talk, and our date of time is slightly different to accommodate the time change in the USA and also to accommodate our speakers' schedule availability for which we are very thankful for all our speakers that we have today. Yesterday, the same subject program was launched in Khmer language, and now we are presenting this in English version. Our main purposes for this program are to disseminate Buddhism locally and internationally by simplifying the teaching from the ancient to the modern world, to bring on the essence attention of the Buddha's teaching that is related to our daily life in society, especially among the youth, and promoting peacefulness and mindfulness living through ethics, concentrations, and wisdom. I know during this COVID-19 health pandemic crisis, it can be very stressful, and it is important to be mindful in what we do so that we can continue to have a healthy, harmonious lifestyles in everything that we do. And today's Dharma discussion will be on Visaka Puja. As you know, Visakapucha Day is considered the most sacred celebration day to some populations around the world. So this day is a very priceless day of Vesak. We will find out more on the significances and relevant the Vesak full moon day and how we commemorate on this special event. Again, with great pleasure, we are pleased to have our four distinguished Dharma speakers to join with us today. And before we begin our Dharma discussion, Sister Chok Sapip will introduce our today's speakers. All right, are you?
Thank you so much, Sister Sakon. And first of all, I would like to pay homage to the Triple Gem, the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. And my big respect as well to our Dharma speaker for tonight. Excuse me. As Sister Sakon had mentioned, our discussion today is about Vesak Puja Day. So, what is the significance of the day? Why Buddhists celebrate this special occasion? So we will explore and learn more from our Dhamma speakers. So before we begin, I would like to introduce our four distinguished speakers. Joining with us, first, I would like to introduce Kaspar Honkaimra. My big respect to Ponte. And Ponte is the Executive Director of the International Buddhist Center based in Sri Lanka. And Ponte is the meditation trainer and also the lecturer on psychology as well. Currently, Ponte resides at Vipassana Thurya Center, Buddhist Center in Udon of Cambodia. So welcome to our show as always, Ponte. Our second Dhamma speaker is Ponte Dhamma Sena Hatsinghai. My sincere respect. Ponte Dhamma Sena is the Executive Director of the Buddhism for Education of Cambodia, in short called BEC, based in Battambang province. The organization aims at supporting the Buddhist education spheres by teaching the Buddhist morality and human rights to children, youth, and people in general. We can follow a lot of activity of the center on the Facebook page. The center is very beautiful. I would love to visit when the COVID would somehow calm down. So it's really beautiful and very peaceful. Ponte have been very actively taught literatures and Buddhist principles to the monk and also to the lay people around the area, and sometimes the lay people travel from far across the country to just visit, but also learn the Dhamma from the Ponte. So please watch out the discourse and the lecture shared by Ponte on his social media page. Next, we have invited Ponte Soktivi, our sincere respect to Ponte. And Ponte TV is the founder of the Dhammika Life Foundation, which is a non-for-profit organization aiming at promoting the Buddha teachings. Ponte is leading and teaching Buddhism in English courses to help Dhamma friends to better understand not only the English terminology but as well as the Buddha teaching. I have a great privilege to be one of his students as well. Ponte's latest publication is the Dhamma terminology that composed of the Khmer Pali, Romanized Pali, and the Khmer English. It is very useful publication for us to consult about the terminology. Currently, Ponte is residing at what Camera Potiram, based in Seattle of the United States of America. Welcome to the founder and our great master Ponte Sapivi. Last but not least, Brother Nom Chunni, welcome again to our show. Brother Chunni is a mindful leadership trainer and the author of the best-selling book called Meditation for Energy of Life. It is the joint publication between Brother Chunni and Pante Kusupir, which many of our Dhamma friends would know of him. And Brother Chunni have been the former monk for 16 years. And in 2019, some of us may have followed his course for the children, in which he have devoted himself to run from Phnom Penh to Siem Reap, from Phnom Penh to Siem Reap. So it's about 15 days at that time in order to do the fundraising course for the Uncle Hospital for Children. It is very great course, and thank you so much as always for this great compassion. Without further ado, as we already inform about our today discussion is on the Vesak Bochea. So our audience may have eager to learn more about the topic. So I would like to raise first question to Ponte Dhammasena. If you can help us to understand better what is Vesak Bochea and why Buddhist people celebrate this event. So the floor is yours, Ponte, please.
Yes, thank you. So first of all, I would like to pay my homage to the 3-point jump, the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha, and my respect to Most Honorable Theory, Venerable Kasapa, and my greeting to everyone, especially the moderator, Jasupip, and Sakon, Sakon, and our speaker as well, Brother Chunni. So we are now launched the program talk about Vesak Bochea. So the question for me is that what is Vesak Bochea? So we can separate this term into two, that is Vesaka and Bochea. Bochea, it is international pronunciation. We might say in Cambodia is Bochea. So Bochea is very familiar with all of you. So I can say Visaka Bochea. Vesak is just the month, actually the month in the lunar, that is the month number 6 month of lunar calendar. And Bochea we can simply define as celebration. So this is the celebration in Vesak. But the question is why we celebrate the Vesak day. So other month why we don't celebrate like Jet Bochea or other month Bochea? Because very important this day that all the Buddhists around the globe we celebrate this Vesak to commemorate the 3 main events of the Buddha. So when the Buddha was born is on the full moon day of Vesak, and when the Buddha attained enlightenment is also on the full moon day of Vesak, and when the Buddha passed away also on the full moon day of Vesak. So these three important events that happen in the same month on the full moon day of Vesak. So that's why the people around the globe who really faithful to Buddhism always observe and celebrate this Vesak day. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Ponte, for this elaboration. I'm not sure if Ponte Kasapa have anything to add on the same question why Buddhists celebrate this event, and if there's any other significant point why people start celebrating this Visaka Puja. Please, Ponte.
Yeah, thank you, sister, for the question. So let me pay my homage to the Triple Gem and the Venerable Sirs, especially our two speakers, Venerable Dhammasena Singhai and Venerable Moniputo Sokchivi, our speaker, Brother Tuni, and the two moderators, and friends in Dhamma around the globe. Yes, the significance of Vesak Puja Day, as Venerable Singhai mentioned, is about celebrating or commemorating the three most important events of the Buddha happening in his life. First is birth of the Buddha and his enlightenment, attainment of the Buddhahood, and the final one is attainment of Maha Parinibbana. In simple term is passing away. And the reason we use attainment of Maha Parinibbana, or the supreme or the complete Maha Parinibbana, is because Buddha won't be reborn again. And that is why we use the term. But it is really hard to find a very correct spot on term for Buddhist terminology. And what I want to say is, it is, to be honest, from my understanding, Vesak Puja, or like internationally we pronounce Vesak Full Moon Day, has been celebrated by Buddhists because in order to commemorate the three events. But another special thing is it's a new year of a Buddhist. And for example, conventionally, we have our new year transformation or transition from 2020 to 21. So it is a conventional transition of the year. And we have our own, Khmer New Year. So we just celebrate it. So it kind of conventionally you assign that day, that is our New Year. So in the same way as Buddhists, we have our New Year, that is the day of the birth of the Buddha and his enlightenment and his attainment of Parinibbana. But what I want to share here is, but internationally around the globe, Buddhists celebrate on different months because they have their own Buddhist calendar according to their astrological understanding, I can say. And in Sri Lanka, in Burma, even Mahayana Buddhists, they celebrate on the different months, sometimes on different days. So, but even we are celebrating on different days or different months, but the focus, the attention, the devotion is to offer to the Buddha. So that's all from me.
Thank you, Venerable. Venerable Gatsapa, I have a questions. May I ask you a quick questions on? I often wonder. I know that Buddha is very. I remember we spoke the last time that he was able to turn around the wheel, but why is it full moon? Can you explain a little bit about why is it those three special events is full moon? What is it so significant about it? May you expound a little bit of that? Thank you.
Okay, so to the best of my knowledge, like, to be honest, I forgot the real English term that we have kinds of 4-day, new moon, first moon, or and so on, and then there's a full moon. So in India, we have 4 opposite in India that every religious practitioners, they do kinds of, devotional practice for themselves and for the sake of the society, or it kinds of, astrologically on that day, that the constellations and the stars and the sun and the moon are kinds of having the connection, and they will have influence on the people, and that is why we call it full moon day, and it is very auspicious day. According to Buddhist, not according in Buddhism, according to the Hinduism, according to the astrological aspect. So this is one point, and second point is full moon day, because it especially in India, and people are motivated when they are heard, oh, the Buddha arose on the full moon day, and the Buddha attainment on the full moon day. So it kinds of, they believe that he is a great man, because no one can be born on the full moon day. No one can be attained an enlightenment on the full moon day. No one can be attain a complete parinirvana on the full moon day. So on the same day, on the same month, he attained it. So this is my understanding. Like when we read the scripture, we can understand that everything is set by the Buddha, because he have kinds of strong determination that everything will happen according to what he has determined. So because as I raised earlier, because ultimately everything is impermanent, suffering, and not so, but Buddha want to show the world that he's the great man. So he is the one and only supreme human, appeared in the world. So that's all from me. We cannot hear you.
We could not hear you.
Sorry. I have a further question for Bante Sok TV. What are the countries that celebrate Visaka, and how do they celebrate it?
Well, thank you so much. First of all, let me pay respect to the Triple Gem, the Buddha, the Dharma, and Sangha, and my respect to Most Venerable Kassapa on camera, and Venerable Dhammasena Hasinghai, and greeting Brother Namchini, and moderator Sister Supiep and Sister Sakon, and also greeting to everyone who is watching our live show right now, as we are discussing about the Vesak Puja or Vesak Day, which means a lot to us as Buddhists around the world. We usually celebrate this event as a special, remarkable event of the year, as Venerable both Venerable already covered that this is considered like the Buddhist New Year, where the whole Buddhist era transition into the new Buddhist era, which is 2565, which will be counted from the first day, the first day of the Visakha in the waning moon, which we call in Khmer as Tngai Meroj Khai Visak. So that is the start of the first day of the Buddhist New Year. So it is a special occasion for Buddhists, and also considered as the public holiday by many countries in the world, like the the United Nations as well, who have given the space for their offices in order to have a public holiday on this special occasion, so that they honor the Buddha by paying gratitude, paying respect to his teaching that have contributed a lot to the world. And coming back to the question, what are the countries that celebrate Vesak Bochea or Vesak? As far as I know, and I think a lot of people are already aware that not just in Cambodia that we celebrate this Vesak Bochea every year, but the countries who are neighboring countries with us, like Thailand, Laos, Burma, Vietnam, Malaysia, Singapore, Korea, Japan, China, some part of Europe, and also in the Western countries like USA and United Nations itself has adopted this special occasion into a public holiday. As we remember that it happened since the December 15, 1999, that Vesak Puja Celebration had been celebrated at the headquarters of United Nations. So Honorable Dhammasena Hatsinghai has joined previous year, so he may elucidate on that a little bit about his experience, how they celebrated at the United Nations headquarters. And Venerable Kassapa himself, who has been living in Sri Lanka for over 20 years, maybe he could elaborate a little bit about how they celebrate Vesak Bochea in Sri Lanka. So as I have been around in some countries like Burma, Malaysia, USA, so I have witnessed some the ritual practices that people usually do on the Vesak day. One of the main ritual practices, we see that people gathering to the temple, and they bring with them the candles, especially because they very much delighted in using the candle as a sign of paying respect to the Buddha's wisdom, paying gratitude to the Buddha's wisdom. So by igniting the candles, and they also use the lanterns, the flying lanterns at night, because usually it is celebrated in the afternoon. So when the sun sets, the brightness of the candle light, would glorifies the space, the area. As we observe that every temple, actually every monastery throughout the countries, even in Cambodia, in other parts of the world as well, people gather to the temple, and they bring the candles, bring the flowers and perfumes, and sometimes they have the procession or the marching of the Buddha statues, which have been decorated in the form of the Buddha's birth when the Prince Tata come into rebirth, or come into existence the day he was born. So they have the image, as we have seen in the Nepal. In Nepal we see where the Buddha was born in Lumpini. So they just try to adopt that style of image, and then also the image of the Buddha's gaining enlightenment, which happened under the Bodhi tree in Bodh India. And then the third event, that is Parinibbana, happens in Kusinara, also in India. So these three main special events that we as Buddhists have been adopting the images, and we usually have the marching or the procession around the monastery, and some provinces like Siem Reap, Posat, Bat Nabong, or also in Phnom Penh, in many other provinces as well throughout Cambodia. We usually see the monks has led the marching throughout that location, throughout the villages and cities and provinces, to bring awareness to the people that as we Buddhists, we pay our honor to our great master, our great spiritual father, who is the Buddha. So normally we see a lot of offering have been brought to the temple to offer on that special occasion. Beside that, we also see that people not just by offering materials, but also by practicing this teaching, by undertaking precept, by meditating, and also having the Dhamma talk discussion, like a platform of Dhamma discussion. Like right now we're doing on the virtual platform, which is also a way in which we can participate in this special occasion.
Thank you, and we are very thankful for the technology, especially through the COVID-19 health pandemic. And I wanted to move to Brother Chuni. So, what is? Could you share us, the experience, the personal experience and observations that about the Vesak Puja Day? Yes. Can you hear us?
Thank you. Let me first pay respect to the Triple Gems and the three venerable speakers and also moderator and all friends and people around the globe as well. I think the most three venerable already explained the different perspectives of what does it mean Visakapucha Day. So through my own observation and experience both in Thailand and in Cambodia, I would say one of Visakapucha Day was one of the most important events, but also one of the most happiest day as well, where the day of, for us as a Buddhist, pay gratitude to the Buddha, pay gratitude to the master of spiritual, and also the virtue. We eat 3 times a day, 3 or 4 times a day, 3 or 4 meals a day. But on that day, it's important for us to sacrifice, to observe, for example, to observe 5 precepts. And also, like Venerable Muniputta was saying, that not just going to the temple offering the flower, the candle, but also it's important to spend some time to do meditation. It's just to express ourselves to the to show or express gratitude to the great one, the enlightened one. What I said the early on, that we eat 3 or 4 times a day, but on that day, it's important that we should learn how to sacrifice, but also the most important day of the day, that we learn how to share the sacrifice day. We go to different temples, we go to different places to do some charity, so we learn how to give. Not just going to the temple, but also we can also go to different organizations as well to give us some kind of food, give us some kind of thing that considered to be charity. So by doing meditation, by eating only probably 1 time a day and spend time on silence, this kind of way that we commemorate to the Buddha, we commemorate to ourselves, we also sacrifice a lot by doing this as well. And when I was in Thailand, people normally celebrate in the night time. The monk would probably just gather around and chant until whatever 2 or 3 a.m. in the morning, and people just come around. In Cambodia, we do a lot in the morning, but also in the daytime. That some temples do the marching around. For example, one of the temples in Tak Mau, they marching around Tak Mau town. Not this year, but happening. And also to just remind again for the Buddhists, but also global Buddhists, that as Venerable Sutivi already said, but I just want to mention it again for that, so that we could be very clear. In 1999 was the day that United Nations recognized Vesak Bochea as International Day, which in 2002 was celebrated UN headquarters in Bangkok, and Thai people all over Thailand celebrate it, but also they invite Buddhist country, Buddhist delegate from all around the world as well. So this is what I observed. Thank you.
Thank you. So you mentioned about the, when you hold the let's see, I would say the celebration with the candles and the flower walk around the Dakmau town. Is it a big town? Is it a big town?
That's what I mean. It's a big town as well, but it took probably about 2 hours and a half or 3 hours to move around, because not just inside Takmai, but from the temple to go around the Takmai, which is like, kind of, because when there's many monks and when there's too many people, it takes very slow. So it's probably 2 to 3 hours to finish the round,
Yes.
It was a hot day, but people full of joy, people full of happiness, because they believe that they affiliate or they join the auspicious activity, not even consider either hot or thirsty. They forgot all about the tiredness. They forgot all about the hotness. The hot, but it's all about enjoying and happy with the moment.
That's the most important part, right? Thank you for sharing. And I wanted to, and Venerable Gatapa, what are the countries that celebrate, Visaka? What is your experience? Is there any personal experience that you have at your temple or meditation center for Visaka Puja Day?
Thank you, sister, for the question. And how Cambodians celebrate? Venerable Hatsinghai will very broadly describe. So let me share my experience during my time in Sri Lanka. And as Venerable of TV mentioned that, all Buddhist countries, even Mahayana or Theravada or Vajrayana or some countries are practicing Buddhism. They are celebrating the Vesak Puja Day. And in Sri Lanka, full moon day is not a special day for Sri Lankans, to be honest, because every full moon day is a holiday for Sri Lankans. So they go to the temple, and from the morning until night, they have different kinds of religious practices. Early morning observing the precepts, and then Dhamma talk, offering, the breakfast, different kinds of offering to the Buddha. Then they have Dhamma talk, they have meditation, they have the Dhamma discussion, and evening, parit chanting. They have a lot of religious practices in Sri Lanka. But additionally, the remarkable events will be added is the entire, event will be supported by the government, and they will be celebrated like 7 days non-stop. 7 days non-stop. And but let me just briefly describe. So in terms of religious practices at the temple, as I mentioned earlier, they do kinds of observing the precept, Dhamma talk, Dhamma discussion, and thousands and thousands of people will observe the precept, at the temple's premises and around the country, will be in white cloth. Even from the small boy, small girl, until the adult, they will sacrifice that day, for the Buddha. And as I mentioned earlier, it is not a special for Sri Lankans, because the full moon day is their holiday, so they have time for that. And Visaka Puja will be special for them, because during the normal full moon day, they don't have kinds of special arrangement, but during the Visaka day, the government will support policemen, military officers. They will come and then they all together, they make, as Honorable Soktivi said, lantern, and they have different kinds of creativity competition that they draw the Buddha image, they design, beside the road, and like it's because it's like Bon Om Tuk in Khmer, like now it has not been celebrated for years. I think Bon Om Tuk, I don't know what's the reason, but it's the same day. Like, but you just imagine that throughout the country, the same thing will be celebrated until night, and different kinds of decoration. But the special thing I saw is, they will arrange kinds of, how to say that, kinds of, I call it we call it in Pali, we call it dana sala. It kinds of offering halls. Okay, they have set up different offering hall. Like, for example, if Sister Josephine travel from Phnom Penh to Udong in order to celebrate the Vesak, from Phnom Penh until Udong, you will pass different kinds of offering halls. Ice cream, petrol, lunch, dinner, tea, and that, you can be, it can be wrong to some extent, but this is how the people, they celebrate, and until night, and this is how Sri Lankan celebrate the Vesak Puja Day. From the early morning until 5-6 o'clock, they will be at the temple practicing the religious activities. But from 6 o'clock until 12 or 2 o'clock, to be honest, I'm sorry to say that I enjoyed the Visakapucha Day, because dinner, they have everything, they offer everything, even the petrol to the people, to travel around the country and or around their village. And because the thing is, it is supported by the government, and as I told you, policemen, military officers, they will be around like for 7 days, and all the TV channel will broadcast only about the Visakapucha Day. So this is the biggest celebration in Sri Lanka. That is why they name the Visakapucha Day as their national day. They don't regard their New Year or anything as their national day. They regard Visakapucha Day as their national day. So that's all from me. Thank you very much.
What a celebration. I do love to eat, so I wouldn't mind going to join that celebration. Then again, I wanted to practice one a day as well too, like Brother Chuni say. And I want to Venerable Dhammasena, what could you share us the experience and observations of at your locations of Visaka Puja Day?
Thank you. I think what about Hiaway and Balkaspar already mentioned almost everything. But in my place, Battambong, we all celebrate Vesak very happily, and I think it's also happened.
We cannot see your video. Yeah, sorry.
I don't know what happened. Yeah.
Yeah, we can see him.
Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe at my side. I don't see video. Yeah.
I can see him only on phone, but in live you cannot see him.
Yeah, I don't see him on video. Okay. Yeah, one day you may go on.
Continue.
Yeah, please.
Okay, thank you. In Battambong, usually we celebrate as a team. As in province, that the governor of the province also joined. We have many temple have a march, a procession. All in Battambong, we have the Buddha decoration as when he was born, when he was attained enlightenment and passing away. So we decorate in the car, and a lot of people joining to march around the city. So this is in the morning, and in the afternoon or evening, people coming to temple and have Parita chanting and observe the five preserve. And also in the evening we have Dhamma discussion. Usually some temple we spend the whole night to have traditional smooth, we say, traditional chanting smooth about the history of the Buddha. Yeah, so and also give the sermon to the people who listen to the Buddha's teaching in the temple. And I want to add a little bit about the celebration of United Nations. The Venerable Theory asked me to add all those information, because as we know that Vesak celebration at his international celebration, that the United Nations adopted a resolution as International Day to be observed in the United Nations headquarters as well as in the office around the globe. So even the office in the country, which is not a Buddhist country, but the office also have to observe the celebration as well. But remarkably, in United Nations, the celebration is very, very huge, and a lot of delegates from around the globe join this celebration. And for me, it's very fortunate to join the UN Wesak celebration in the United Nations headquarters in New York. And I also have been to join the celebration in UNESCO Paris as well. In Paris, they celebrate in the headquarters of UNESCO in Paris. Is a lot of people join as well this celebration. But the most important thing is in United Nations that we should be very proud, because United Nations is very great organization that founded after the World War II to prevent any conflict in the world that it might happen to the country of the war. So United Nations celebrate this Vesak in the hall of the General Assembly. It's not in the small office, but in the big hall. That hall usually hosts for the national leader, international leader, have the conference or summit to talk about any issue of the world in that hall. So celebration of Vesak also hosted in that hall, the very, very big hall. It lasts for 2 hours actually. So many delegates have delivered the speech on Vesak celebration and to appreciate the Buddhism, how Buddhism contributes to the world peace. And I witnessed many delegates from Buddhist country and also from other faith country also delivered a speech on this occasion. So it's very great occasion that people also congratulate this auspicious day in United Nations. And the same way, I think in Thailand they have that Vesak celebration for 3 days, that we have the World Summit, the World Conference, that many representatives from around the world join this conference as well. They have panel discussion. They pick up some issue to discuss how Buddhism can share, can resolve all those problems with the world. So actually, if without COVID-19, the great summit and the great Vesak celebration will be hosted in any Buddhist country, we will be very happy to join all those activities. Very unfortunate for this pandemic COVID, so only by internet and by Zoom or so we can only celebrate on this way. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Phante, for sharing very great insight about different country celebration. I'm so delighted when hearing that. Although I never experienced celebration in those countries, like in Sri Lanka, it sounds so enjoyable. Like when they and with the offering hall, I joined with Sister Sakon. How enjoying for us, to have been fit all the way through, with different kind of food or offer. So very very great sharing, and also thank you so much, Pante, for sharing the celebration by the UN, and it means a lot because UN is a quite a important body, but they have recognized the special occasion, which is the Puja, and having the celebration at their hall and inviting distinguished delegate representative to also celebrate the event. That is very remarkable. I just would like to also share to our Dhamma friends who are listening, who are watching our show as well, that even we can notice in some of the respective embassy in Cambodia right now, we could notice that the U.S. Embassy of Cambodia, they mark the tomorrow as a holiday for them as well, and we all know that for this respective embassy, they don't follow all the national holiday. They only select few of them, but when they choose to mark the day like Visakapucha as their holiday, it also means of their recognition on this special occasion. And the Indian embassy in Phnom Penh also plan to host a special webinar on the occasion too, but unfortunately there have been technical challenges for them. So back to our discussion, I would like to also continue, and perhaps we would like to hear from the insight from Pante Soktivi, but also maybe another speaker representing the Cambodia, because maybe it's similar. Like how are we to prepare to welcome this special occasion? But we already discussed kind of general the celebration in a general way, the routine that people usually celebrate. But given the COVID pandemic, so how are we going to welcome this special occasion for Ponte in US? How would the temple plan to welcome this special occasion? Please, Ponte.
Though the pandemic is still around, but fortunately for the state of Washington, where I'm residing, it is less restricted comparing to last year, because we are getting much better in terms of like vaccination is also around, and a lot of people get vaccinated. So they have allowed like 400 participants. The capacity we can gather up to 400. That's a lot. I mean, even during the Khmer New Year, last 2 weeks, we have received a lot of people coming to the temple as well due to this less restriction. Anyhow, we going to celebrate this Vesak day at our temple as usual, and anyhow we still have to stay social distances and wearing masks and often wash hands as has been directed by the the state. So we still do it, but to some extent we have to reduce some activity which have a lot of gathering. So we try to reduce a lot of gathering. Even if we do so, at least we should practice the social distancing so that everyone feels safe to join. And we will do it. And at least we can bring some offering to the temple on that day by bringing food to the temple. And one idea I learned from Venerable Kassapa, and he just mentioned about what it has been usually celebrated in Sri Lanka was amazing, and both of the moderators were talking about joining or delighted in going and receive the donation. I mean, for us or for people who are poor, or who even not just poor people, I mean, everyone from all the status of life, they pass by or they come to the temple and they enjoy receiving the donation from people. This is from the side of the receiver. On the other hand, from the side of the donor, they also so blessed to have that opportunity to do dana, to do charity, So we can see that both of the donor and the receiver are very happy, are very delighted on that special occasion. So it's a moral lesson learned that charity, is one of the factor which lead us to happiness, to enlightenment, finally, ultimately. So on that special occasion, one activity that people always do is to be able to provide charity, to do charity, to give away whatever they have, especially by bringing food to the temple, offer to the monks so they can dedicate merit to their departed ones as well, and then they bring other offerings like candle, as I mentioned earlier, and observe the precepts. And especially people are very happy, when meeting each other, because a lot of people are gonna come to the temple. So anyway, in USA we still celebrate this, and some monasteries, as I have been observing, throughout different states, not just in my state, but because Cambodian people, Cambodian monks here, we have a good communication between each other from state to state. So I have some information from other monasteries as well. They have been preparing, in their own temples. They decorated to welcome this Wesak Day. So I think it's gonna be another great happy holiday for our Cambodian monks as well in the United States.
Thank you so much, Conte. That is a good news for Cambodian not just Cambodian, but the people in United States who could still celebrating in a more, gathering way. It reminds me of my time I joining at the Nikrotawan monastery. It's very crowded, but it's really fun. Very delighted celebration at the monastery, and at night there's a kind of candlelight. It's really quite refreshing and very delighted for lay people to celebrate all together. So I would like to turn to Ponte Damasina as well. Now back from United States to Cambodia, and given the pandemic, so how are we going to prepare to welcome this special occasion, and probably especially for your center or the place where you are now residing? Please, Ponte.
Thank you. Wesak celebration will be celebrated tomorrow actually, and as we are now facing the pandemic, so maybe people not really concentrate to be celebrated and enjoy this great celebration. But anyway, we are really happy to welcome this celebration to commemorate the three main important events of the Buddha. But for my center, actually, we did not prepare very well. Just do something very simple. We have the Buddha statue, and on tomorrow maybe some monks, the member of our center will do some celebration to pay homage to the Triple Gem and also some charity as well, maybe to the children around our center. But for I think for the people in Cambodia, they should prepare at their home, like to clean up and to decorate something to be beautiful, like a Buddhist flag or a national flag, and also in the temple, the monk also should prepare. When we are facing the pandemic, but the monk ourselves should be celebrate all these festival as well in the temple. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much, Pante, for this. And I would like to also hear from Pante Kasapa because we now residing at the Vipassana area, and often the center is very like caring about this kind of important occasion. So we would like to hear how the Vipassana area center celebrate this occasion, and also if we are going, imagine not in COVID time, but if we are going to celebrate at the center or at the monastery, what kind of material offering that people should bring to celebrate this occasion? Pante, please. The floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you, sister. Fortunately, in United States and Sri Lanka, are celebrating the Visakapucha Day, more gratefully than Cambodians, because I think the announcement has been made that the lockdown is released only for the people in the provinces, but unfortunately, Phnom Penh and Kandal province, the lockdown is still in the process. So, and tomorrow we will do just a normal thing, and as a meditation center we will practice meditation. But as you raised the question, normally we do the procession in the evening in Vipassana Dura, and the special thing we will do is we will practice meditation and like 4 or 5 hours like continuously. And some meditators who who find a delight in practicing until early morning, they are allowed to practice. But as you know, we don't sit like 5 hours or 6 hours continuously, like 1 hour and then relax, then 1 hour. So, and we will focus on meditation, especially at Vipassana Buddhist Center. And here we offer only the flowers and the offering of the candle had just practice. I mean, has been practiced like few years before. I never seen like offering candle in Vipassana Dhura, but the main focus is meditation. And yes, you asked me what kinds of material can be brought to the temples in order to celebrate or commemorate the Visaka Puja Day. So, like, according to Buddhism, you can do 2 kinds of offering. One is a material offering, we call in Pali Amisa Puja, and another thing is Patipatti Puja, so spiritual offering. So, from Buddhist point of view, we don't focus more on the material, like bringing more incense sticks or kinds of how to call it, the oil lamps. Like in Cambodia, we don't practice it that's so much. I mean, the oil lamps, but it can be seen in Sri Lanka, it can be seen in other country. But people can bring more flowers, like from my understanding, and they must reduce the incense sticks, and they must bring more flowers to offer to the Buddha, and they can and on the other hand, they can bring more kinds of offering. They can offer even the water bottle. They can offer to the monks. They can offer to the nuns, or it is one thing. And for me, they can bring trash bags. So trash bags. So it kinds of offering, like you clean the temple after the. I mean, this is the point that we don't focus. We only celebrate, but we forget to clean. So it's my suggestion. You can bring it, and after the celebration, you can bring the trash bag. Don't let it be at the temple. So I think I don't have any kinds of special thing to mention. That's all from me.
Thank you so much, Conte, for sharing this. And the last point is very useful, because a lot of time lay people would forgot. We often, think of bringing to the monastery, but then we forgot that, the trust should be brought back home. And that remind me to my grandma. She's very attentive. She advise us. At one, I have learned that when we go to pagoda, to the monastery, we should not forget to bring the trash bag, like some plastic bag, or even the remaining of the flower that we brought to offer to the Buddha statues. We have to be careful. So you remind me of my grandma advice as well. Thank you so much. And it's really great to hear how the Vipassana period has been concentrate more on meditation, and that is really a core advice by the Buddha as well. Before turning to Brother Chunli, I just want to go read some of our Dhamma friend sharing on the page, on the chat here. So we have Sister Pasuka. She said that she will try to eat 2 times, just 2 times per day, like try to celebrate the Visakapucha, and the same for Sister Kun here. Thank you so much for joining us. And other Dhamma friends, please feel free to share your experience. How would you celebrate this special occasion with us? We would like to hear your insight as well. So now, Brother Chuni, as lay people now and during the pandemic, and we are locked down, in the lockdown area. Some would be in the red zone, like my case too. So how would we prepare to, spiritually, because probably we can, not just probably, for sure, we can not go to a monastery. So from your experience and your advice, how should we prepare ourselves to welcome this occasion?
Thank you, Sister, once again. Before I share, I just would like to mention the 2 interesting points from Venerable Kassapa. Sri Lanka was celebrating for 7 days, and along the way, full of eye creams and offering along the way. So very. Yeah, I mean, not this time, but after pandemic, I'd probably like to be there and experience myself. And the second point is also very interesting, where a lot of people go to the temple, bring the flowers and offering, but at the end of the day, all trash is in the temple. So either bring it back or be very organized with the trash as well. I mean, it's important, we go to do a good thing, we go to the offering, we sacrifice, but we forgot that we also trash the temple, So, I mean, this is it's very good remind, Venerable Master, very good remind. So I'm also keep reminding myself and talk to my friends and whoever I meet as well about that occasion. Myself wouldn't be different because I've been locked down for a few weeks already, so I couldn't go anywhere anyway. But I will wake up early tomorrow. Wake up at 4 because my normal time I have meditation session 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We have a lot of people who join the session from 5:15 to 6:15 a.m. in the morning. But tomorrow I'll wake up at 4 and do my own chantings and meditation, and also I'm probably gonna eat one time, not two and not twice, but just one time. So and also maybe still work, but also spend a lot of time on meditating and spend a lot of time on reading the sutras as well. So this is what I'm gonna do, and also I think it's important that we give some space to ourselves. It's important that we express the gratitude to the enlightened one, the Buddha, by practicing ourselves. Because one of the things that I learned from the master say, Buddha is like our father, and Dharma is like our mother, who protect us live in a good way, who protect us live in a happiness way. So if we observe well, if we practice well, in a moral with the teachings of the Buddha, with the matter, if we take care of the matter well, then we live with happiness, and we also find peace within ourselves as well. So tomorrow going to be one of the most important and auspicious days. So I take a while to eat only one time and spend more time on eating as well before work. Thank you.
Thank you. I like that. Buddha is like our father, and Dhamma is like our mother. Great, a beautiful analogy. And I like the point where Venerable Gaspar brought out the trash can. I also have a question. You know how a lot of people would bring candlesticks, and now you indicated just bring more flowers, the incense sticks. Okay, I want to bring out a little bit about the incense. Incense. Is it very important to have incense sticks, or is it because I know it could be very bad for our health if we use so much. Should it be like lit inside or outside? Could you give us a little enlightenment on that, please? Thank you.
Thank you, sister. About the issue and the significance of offering the incense sticks, I think had been elaborated very beautifully by Venerable Hasinghai. So you can trace back the video, but let me add. To be honest, we need material things to motivate ourselves, to cultivate the spirituality. So we need that. So this is the nature of our mentality. But the thing is, our intention, why we offer incense sticks to the Buddha, why we offer flower to the Buddha, what is our intention? So intention is very important. But if we just, people have different kinds of belief. Okay, we have to light it, 8, 10, no, one is not enough. It must be more than 10. It must be 20. No, to be honest, I would say it's stupid ideology that the number will begin the blessing. No, it's wrong. So that is why the intention is very important. Why you offer that? So, but I would suggest that don't light it inside the hall. It can be devastating. That is why here we set like 2 big pots outside the dining hall. So and as Sister Josephine and Brother Chuni had been here, we don't let people light the incense stick more, around the temple, in the temple premises. But it traditionally has been practiced by our people. We allow only during the New Year and the Chumban. So, but it is allowed outside. And yeah, and I said yeah, flowers. So let me say again, the intention very important. Why you offer it? You offer it to the Buddha, and in order to express your gratitude, because just having mind is not enough. So it kinds of like you love someone, but you just keep in mind. Okay, or you can say that, and without expressing that you love it, it's useless. You might have different kinds of philosophy that it's good to have in mind, or it's not enough. In Buddhism, it must be done in 3-4 doors: that verbal action, mental action, and physical action. And for example, that when you say that, oh, I want to offer, for example, I I want to say happy birthday on your birthday because I have kindness, I have compassion, so no need gift. So it can be good, but I mean to express, I mean to showcase, or to manifest that your blessing is real. You need something to offer, yeah. You need something to give. Similarly, in order to express your devotion, faithfulness towards the Buddha, or gratitude, you need something to offer. It it is not wrong as long as your intention is right. So that's all from me.
Okay, thank you. And while we have you on the spot, what is the lesson learned from Visaka Puja Celebration, Venerable? Yes, Pat.
Okay. uh, yeah, the entire teaching of the Buddha is to transform our life. What I want to say is, like during the COVID-19, what we have to understand is everything is teaching us, even the COVID-19, that the human behavior is increasingly becoming devastating. So we have to understand that. So as the followers of the Buddha, if we cannot change the entire society, if we cannot change the world, try our best to change ourselves. If we cannot find the good one, be one. That is what the Buddha wants from us. So that's all from me.
That's beautiful. And Venerable Muniputo, what is the lesson learned from Visaka Puja celebration?
Yeah, one of the important point that I want to raise, that those who are celebrating or have been celebrating or going to celebrate Visakapucha is a sign of, the expression of gratefulness, as we are the the younger generation of the Buddha disciple. So we owe a great deal of gratitude towards our masters, and especially the Buddha. So by celebrating Visakha Puja, we honor the Buddha by practicing what he taught. So one thing it expresses about the gratitude, and second thing, we also learn to um, behave ourselves whenever there is any special occasion in Buddhism, like Vesak Bochea. It is a reminder to remind ourselves that we should try our best, to do what is wholesome, to avoid what is unwholesome, and also to purify our mind by following the path of the Buddhas, like the Sila, Samadhi, Panya. We have to practice or observe moral precepts. We have to develop mental cultivation, meditation, bhavana. And finally, we have to cultivate our wisdom through learning, listening, reading, thinking, and practicing spirituality. So this is also another way that we can learn from Visakha Puja. Even we have been joining previous years and also this year, even if we cannot go to the temple. But the lesson learned is that we always be grateful for what we have and for what we got from the teachings of the Buddha, and always grateful towards everyone in this universe who have been with us, who have be part of our existence and have supported us throughout the ways. Also important to be grateful towards parents as well during their occasion, not just the Buddha, but also your living God at home, your family during this pandemic. During this difficult time, we should be able to express our gratitude, and then by doing the charity like donation. So it is a lesson for us that we have to learn to let go of our belongings. That way we can, become more detached towards what we have. So this is the lesson learned from the Buddha. He taught us to, learn to give away, to do charity, to be generous, and then to cultivate ourselves through good conduct, ethical conduct, sila, and develop meditation as we have been doing each and every day. So that is the lesson I can think of from the Vesak Puja.
Beautiful. And Brother Chuni, any lesson learned from Visakapucha celebration? Please.
Thank you once again, Sister, for the last question. I think there's a lot of things, and also mentioned by Venerable Muni Potel. So myself will put into three simple ways. I think number one is the lesson learned. The first lesson learned is learn how to be gratitude to the Buddha, to the Master, but also to the monks, to those practitioners, and to those teachers and master. And second thing, I learned. The biggest lesson is to learn the routine of the Buddha. For 45 years he was teaching, sharing without tiredness. So he put all his heart for 45 years to help human being on earth. And the very last thing, the biggest lesson learned is to apply those teaching in daily life, not just a Buddhist, as a leader, as a manager, as a CEO, as a business owner, as a family. It's important to learn that, for example, the 5 precepts live, or also the sila, the moral, live a life with moral, live a life with dignity, live a life with respect, and do our own business, but not creating trouble for other business, or not creating trouble for other community as well. So, this is the 3 lessons that I learned within this period. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Beautiful lessons to learn from. And last but not least, for Venerable Damasina, what is a lesson learned from Saka Puja celebrations? Could you give us a little insight on that? Thank you.
Thank you. The lesson, you can learn a lot from this celebration, Vesak Day. And usually we always hear the story of the Buddha about his birthday, his enlightenment, and his passing away. But the most important thing, I think, we all should understand that the Buddha is not a divine being. He's not someone from the heaven. He's just a human being. So the human being can do anything. Like for the Buddha, can attain the enlightenment. So this is the higher stage of realization. So in the same way as we are a human being, I think we can develop our capacity and ability to do anything. That's why we have to stay positive and encourage ourselves to learn and to do anything which sometimes you feel very negative about yourself, and you can do anything. But if you listen to the story of the Buddha, so we sometimes can encourage and motivate ourselves to be a great person by learning and by doing something to achieve all those dreams. And another lesson that we know from this Vesak Day is timeless teaching of the Buddha is really contribute to the world in the present moment that face a lot of challenges. So the Buddha's teaching really benefits to the people in this world. That's why United Nations officially acknowledge this Vesak Day as International Day to be observed. So we all understand that. And the third point that I want to raise, that is, the life of the Buddha really connected with the nature. So we can say Buddhism really promote a lot about the nature. That's why the life of the Buddha when he was born is under the tree, and when he attained enlightenment also under the tree, and when he passed away also under the tree. So it's very meaningful that we can take all this event to talk about the Buddhism and nature, that we can encourage people to love and protect our nature, the tree. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Conte and Brother Chuni. Very grateful remark and sharing the lesson learned with us. And I believe that we all come to understand better about the Visaka Puja and the rationale behind why the Buddhists celebrate this special occasion, which is to recall the birth, the enlightenment, and the nibbana of the Buddha. So when we think about this special occasion, we may think of the qualification within the Buddha, and by paying our respect, not just by greeting or chanting only, but is to really practice and walk on the pathway that the Buddha have held for us to come to the liberation. So I believe that would be the great way of paying the respect to the Buddha. So our talk show come to the end. So before we end our live show, I would like to share the merit from Dhamma Sandana with all living beings in this whole universe. May all be happy and be peaceful. And once again, thank you so much to our honorable speakers and Dhamma speaker and speaker for sharing with us today. Finally, I would like to express sincere thanks as well to Dhammika Live team, the founder, the director, advisor, technical team especially, for always providing such a wonderful support so that our program could be possible. Last but not least, thank you everyone, our Dhamma friend, for joining and following our live show as always. Now let us spend a moment practicing Metta Bhavana, loving kindness meditation, which will be instructed by Ponte Kasapat on camera. So thank you and goodbye. Our Metta meditation now begins.
Hello everyone. Let us practice loving friendliness meditation for oneself. Self-loving friendliness meditation is the first section of Metta meditation. Self-loving friendliness meditation is designed to direct you to happily take care of yourself, to honestly forgive yourself, to truly accept yourself without conditions. Before starting, please find a very comfortable posture. Close your eyes. Relax your head, your shoulders, your arms, and your entire body. Please slowly take a very deep breath 3 times. When it is done, let your breath flow as naturally as it does. Observe your breath without judgment, reactions, and criticism. Just merely observe it as the way it is while you are listening to my Pali Metta chanting. Aham Now, please create a very tender smile on your face. Visualize your happy and smiling face. You are very happy person with smiling face. Please keep smiling with honest heart, because you are going to bless yourself. Please be aware of the phrases which I am going to recite, and let yourself honestly feel the real meanings of the phrases. May I be well and happy. May I be free from hatred. May I be free from ill will. May I be free from anger. May I be free from physical and mental sufferings. May I take care of myself happily. May I take care of myself happily. May I take care of myself happily. Now, take your right hand and place it on your chest, and you can mentally repeat after me. In this home, we are family. We live under the same shelter, so we must be kind to each other, be compassionate to each other, be friendly to each other. Help each other. Respect one another. Be happy every day. Keep smiling with honest heart. Be grateful. Be positive. Forgive even when it's really hard. Before open your eyes, please take again a very deep breath 3 times. Thank you. May you be well and happy.